Welcome to ElephantandDonkeys.church. So I've been a pastor now for 18 years, which means I have now pastored through 4 national presidential elections. And it's been interesting because the first one that I pastored through, everyone said, this is going to be the most important election in the history of the country since the Civil War, and it will also probably be the most divisive. And I was like, oh my goodness. And people lost their minds and went crazy. And then it was done. I was like, glad that's over with. And then the second election came in, and it's like, this is going to be the most important election in the country's history since the Civil War. And I was like, oh, wow, I thought we did that the last time. And it was crazy, and people lost their minds, and Christians acted not like Christians. And then it was done. And then the third one, you know what happened. And the fourth one, you get it. And I realize it's just this natural thing that every single time we get to a presidential election, everyone tells us how important and significant it is. And I'm not saying it's not important in any way, but there's this tendency where Christians quit acting like Christians because we forget what our faith is in. So I thought as we head into this national election, let's do something different. Let's actually be aware in advance of who we are. So this is the site of all the content for our series, Purple. Now, you may say purple. Well, there's blue and there's red. So purple's the color between, but that's not what we're talking about. Not the color between, the perspective from above. Purple as the color of royalty. Purple as the color of majesty, as the representation of Jesus who is still on the throne. So here's what you're going to find here, is there are 4 messages in this series that we're going to do throughout the year, but you can find them all right now. Because we don't want to be accused when we get to September or November of, oh, you're just saying that because of this thing that was said in the debate, or you're just saying that because of this media headline. Nope, all the information's already here. Because we're anticipating for it to be chaotic, because it always is every single time, and we need to be rooted in what our faith is in. So if you're part of a church, I encourage you, read them all right now. Read them all every single time we go through this, so you can be reminded of who you are. If you are a church leader, we have made all of this available to you, including all of the series graphics and promo materials for you to do this at your own church. Now, you can just take this straight. You don't need to say you got it from us at all in any way. We just encourage you to do that because we are heavily interested in the idea of a church that is united. And we believe the more divided our country is, the more important it is that our churches are united. And so one of these ideas, even part 2 of this, is how unity actually happens. And our hope in all of this is that as we enter a time that is always chaotic, that is always crazy, that our feet will be on solid ground because we know no matter who sits in the White House, that our King is still on the throne. So, welcome to ElephantandDonkeys.church, where we care far more about the church than we do about the donkeys or the elephants.